if you look at European plans for the evolution of their natural gas market, there are issues involving supply security. Right now, they depend largely on Gazprom out of Russia for their supply. And as we can see, Gazprom can exert pressure on Europe by abiding by the letter of their contracts and not providing any more additional gas, even if they have more. As a result, essentially supporting very, very high prices rather than providing more gas that could help to bring those prices down. Norway is in a somewhat similar position, and so is Algeria. Those are the major providers of natural gas into Russia, from Russia and from Norway and from Algeria into Europe. They're getting some gas also now from the Caspian region, but it's relatively small. Issues that involve, okay, well, should we look at expansion of the liquefied natural gas shipments that we would get into Europe and whatever infrastructure changes in order to handle that additional supply of LNG coming into Northern Europe or the Mediterranean or different parts of Europe. So those kinds of issues, they can look at those things and see whether those will be good investments that will provide gas in such a way that they won't be quite so much at the what should I say, at the whim of Russia and what it could do. They could also look at things like, well, should we make more longer-term contracts with Russia for higher volumes, and which pathways should we use to get that gas into Europe? So there's lots of things that they can do to study different strategies that they might have, and from an economic point of view and a market point of view. And then, of course, they're going to trade those things off, with whatever their geopolitical considerations are within Europe. I think that what's happening in Europe this winter has really kind of brought the whole question to the fore, and you start to see people in Europe being, I think, a little bit more pragmatic than what they have been over the last few years, and recognizing how important natural gas is for their future as an interim fuel, a transition fuel. Other people might call it some other name, but they are now openly speaking of including natural gas and nuclear as part of what's called green energy, whereas previously that was not. So there is a recognition that natural gas is superior to coal, superior to fuel oil and other things, and therefore it is something that one could support in the energy transition. And there are at least some people who believe that nuclear in one form or another is also part of that solution.